Tonight, 2 Australians held hostage by Chechen rebels in Moscow. 4 killed, 13 injured as an Adelaide bus hits the Ghan. And the 2 main suspects in America's serial sniper murders caught.
With Natalie Barr, this is 7 News.
Good evening. Chechen rebels are still threatening to blow up a theatre in Moscow tonight, where they're holding at least 700 people hostage, among them an Australian man and woman. The armed men and women have freed some hostages, but say they won't release any more.
As the siege enters a new day, police negotiators convince the terrorists to release more hostages, among them 2 little girls. Heavily armed officers from Russia's elite security forces continue to surround the Moscow theatre, where inside at least 40 heavily armed Chechen rebels are holding 700 people, among them 60 foreigners, including a 56-year-old Melbourne man and an unidentified Australian woman.
We're very concerned about their safety, and our embassy is doing everything it can to try to help get them released.
There were hopes all foreign citizens would be freed.
We were requested to meet here and that our citizens would be handed over.
But the rebels have reneged on the deal. Earlier, they released more than 100 children and women, including these 3 who made a frantic dash for safety. The rebels' attack was well planned. This witness said they were wearing masks and shooting. Several are women strapped with explosives. This boy says men with machine guns came in firing at the ceiling. They're demanding Russia end its 8-year war with Chechnya, a largely Muslim republic. They've threatened to shoot the audience and blow up the building if security forces try to storm the theatre. Russian President Vladimir Putin has cancelled his visit to the APEC summit. He's holding emergency talks to resolve the crisis. Daniela Ongaro, 7 News.
4 people have been killed and 13 injured in a collision between a bus and a train in Adelaide's northern suburbs. The bus was packed with high school students. The train was the Ghan on its way to Alice Springs.
Mid-afternoon in Adelaide, and school students were heading home when disaster struck. Their bus was stuck in the middle of a train crossing at Salisbury, 15 kilometres north of the city. The occupants of a car jumped for their lives as the train approached, and somehow they escaped without injury. But it was a tragedy for 4 adults on the bus. 3 were killed on impact. Another person died on the way to hospital.
And I saw the back end hanging out and heard the dingers come down. I saw it was all packed up and was wondering where it was going to go.
Investigators are baffled by what happened. Early reports said the car stalled on the tracks and the bus driver tried to help clear the crossing. A nearby hotel was used as a medical clearing station, while the injured, 2 of them in a critical condition, were transferred to local hospitals.
There are several people who are critical, a couple of those in the Children's Hospital, and the rest in a serious and a range of conditions between serious and critical at the Lyell McEwen.
All the people that needed treatment have been taken to the hospitals. There are still some people in the vicinity here with very, very minor injuries.
South Australian Premier Mike Graham was at the scene, which is part of his electorate.
This is a terrible, terrible tragedy in a community that's been hit so hard by tragedy over the last 10 days.
It's just terrible after the Bali bombings and now this, and it's local and it's kids involved.
There have been traffic jams near the crash scene, and it'll be several hours before the rail line is cleared. Chris Warren, 7 News.
Police in America have arrested 2 men believed to be the serial snipers who've claimed 10 lives and wounded another 3 people. They're a former soldier and his teenage stepson.
Heavily armed police swooped on the 2 men as they slept in their car at a highway rest stop in Maryland, about 80 kilometres from Washington, D.C. It's believed the 2 men have been identified as former soldier John Allen Muhammad and his 17-year-old stepson John Lee Malvo.
They did it very carefully, very quickly, very efficiently, and these 2 individuals were taken into custody without any problem.
The FBI had earlier issued an arrest for John Muhammad and searched a home once rented by the Gulf War veteran, looking for bullet fragments in a tree he'd used for target practice.
Shortly before 1, when the motorists spotted the vehicle, they were in it, and they were taken into custody shortly after 3:30.
The family of the sniper's 10th victim, bus driver Conrad Johnson, today arrived at the scene of his death. Police have also revealed another letter was left at yesterday's shooting containing threats that more body bags would be needed unless $20 million was sent to a stolen credit card. And in an angry tirade, the sniper also complained he'd tried to call the police tip line, but incompetent operators ignored his call. So he killed 5 more people. Simon Dowding, 7 News.
Special equipment is being sent to Bali to build computer images of 3 possible bomb suspects. Witnesses are helping police with the preliminary images.
Australian teams at the scene are determined to examine every piece of rubble in their search for evidence. But other parts of the investigation are more sophisticated. With witnesses now describing 3 suspects, police are flying in specialised computer equipment to help create pictures of the wanted men.
We believe that that will assist us in forming a computer-generated photo fit of 3 people who are of interest to us at the moment.
Detectives have viewed new video of 3 men leaving the area immediately after the blast. But it's unlikely they were behind the attack. The bombs were triggered from a distance using mobile phones or pagers.
The level of sophistication involved and what we're looking at with respect to this particular detonation is probably not consistent with what we've seen on that videotape.
Meantime, police are still appealing for people to hand in videotape of Legian Street that night, especially images taken before the explosions.
They may not think it's important because it doesn't show an explosion, it doesn't show the carnage that followed. But the fact is that the period leading up to that blast is of interest to us.
Without realising, someone may have filmed the bombers before they killed more than 180 people. In Bali, Mark Simmons, 7 News.
Today, government leaders joined families in a national memorial service for the bomb victims. Prime Minister Howard told them the entire nation shares their grief and anger. 93 Australians are now either missing or confirmed dead.
Another step on the long road to recovery. For those not yet able to bury their loved ones, a formal service to mark their passing.
We are endeavouring to give you all the love and compassion that you deserve, you need, and we can deliver.
Families from all over the country united in grief, lighting a candle for each life lost.
Human life, potential, hopes and dreams tragically have all been wasted. Every one of us here reaches out to you, and I know that there are 19.5 million other Australians who are doing just that with us here this morning.
The opposition leader read a child's letter to a father who will never return.
Dear Daddy, hi, it's Tasha Bear. Hopefully this letter will come to you when the boys find you safe. It's just been so confusing around lately with all of the stories.
Simon Crean knows the pain of missing a relative. His brother vanished in the snow in 1985. His body wasn't found for 18 months.
Even though the hope might be gone, I share with you the deep and hurtful experience of just not knowing the finality.
As they left, mourners scattered petals in a memorial pool. The Prime Minister again extending warmth on behalf of the nation.
We may, in times of stress and challenge and crisis, be as tough as tungsten, but we are also a soft and loving people who will wrap our arms around those who have lost so much.
Rani Sadler, 7 News.
And John Howard also spent the day outlining expensive new measures to fight terrorism. His government's also moved towards restricting handguns, challenging the states for their support.
Mr Howard and the Premiers went straight from mourning the victims of Bali to mapping out a safer Australia. Dominating their meeting was how to eliminate illegal handguns in the wake of this week's shooting rampage at Melbourne's Monash University.
Who should have handguns? The police should have them, the armed services should have them, and our elite sports people should have them, and that should be it.
The Prime Minister says it's clear the laws governing gun ownership need to be tightened and pointed to a possible buyback scheme.
The public demands that more be done to control the proliferation of handguns.
The Prime Minister has also responded to demands for tougher security measures to guard against international and domestic terrorism. Tens of millions of dollars has been earmarked for tighter border controls, the expansion of the Air Marshal scheme and better security for our overseas embassies. Signing up for the new series of terrorism countermeasures, the Prime Minister is prepared to consider suggestions that troops be used during times of high risk.
We ought to have our defence personnel there guarding the power stations, the nuclear reactor at Lucas Heights, the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the rest.
The Prime Minister has now flown out of Australia, bound for an APEC conference in Mexico. He'll meet George W. Bush, with terrorism bound to dominate the agenda. In Canberra, Jeff Parrott, 7 News.
Returning to the hostage drama in Moscow, and there are reports just in that at least one person has been shot by the Chechen rebels. They're holding 700 people in a theatre, including an Australian man and woman. A Brisbane journalist and his family has narrowly escaped being shot inside their suburban home. Courier Mail investigative reporter Hedley Thomas was going to bed when a bullet came through the window, just missing his wife Ruth. 2 other shots were fired, one through the garage door, another into their 2 young children's rumpus room. Nobody was hurt in the shootings. Mr. Thomas is convinced the attack was motivated by his newspaper reports. Northern Territory Police have taken the next crucial step in their pursuit of a man wanted for the murder of British backpacker Peter Falconio. Detectives have issued a warrant for the arrest of a 44-year-old man who's already in custody in Adelaide on unrelated charges. Mr. Falconio's body has never been found, and the prosecution case will rely almost entirely on DNA evidence. Central Melbourne was brought to a standstill today by a display of union muscle. Workers rallied in support of union boss Martin Kingham, who's refusing to cooperate with the Royal Commission into the building industry.
Project Commission! Shut up!
Several thousand took to the streets, living up to their catchcry. They were angry and they were loud. And leading the angry workers, construction union boss Martin Kingham headed for court and contempt charges. He's refused to give lists of shop stewards to the Coal Royal Commission into the building industry.
The union will win out here? Of course we'll win out. Victorian workers will win out.
Building workers joined today in their show of strength by firemen, metal, textile and transport workers and electricians. They came from all points, bringing the commercial hub to a standstill. A strong police line throwing up a protective cordon around the Melbourne Magistrates Court.
This is a political fight. It's a deliberate witch hunt.
And the country's top unionist claimed Kingham was being victimised for defending the rights of workers.
We are not going to see them put in jail for protecting the names of shop stewards.
Unionists showed their support right up to the door of the court. Martin Kingham's day in court was brief, lasting just 5 minutes, and on his own application was adjourned until the 12th of December. And that's when there's likely to be another show of union strength. And outside the court, Kingham wasn't having a change of heart over the release of the lists of workers.
It's not in my authority to do so.
And a parting warning for the Howard government.
We don't take kindly to being kicked.
Norm Beeman, 7 News.
Stay with us. After the break, the Bledisloe Cup streaker pays the price for his drunken dash. And how to track down your lost super.
When it comes to HSV, those in the knows go to Brian Gardner Holden. See the street legal club sports and awesome Marloo Utes, the world-class HSV Senator and Grange, and the incredible all-new GTO and GTS coupes. Brian Gardner has the HSVs that Holden fans dream about. For WA's largest range of HSV cars, colours and accessories, we've got you covered. Look for the big roof on Albany Highway, Cannington. Brian Gardner, the HSV dealer for those in the knows.
Take the Commodore Homes Challenge.
At Commodore Homes, we've long been committed to giving you more space.
more value with more standard features. In fact, we're so committed to giving you more that we challenge you to find a bigger home at a better price. Visit any of our 12 display centres this weekend and take the Commodore Homes Challenge.
'Cause Commodore always gives you more.
It's on again. Canteen's National Bandana Day.
Friday the 25th of October is the big day.
For a donation of just $2.
Only $2 for only $2.
For only $2.
You can buy a bandana just like this and help support young people right across Australia living with cancer. So purchase your bandana from any of these funky stores.
From any of the funky stores at the bottom of your screen.
From any of these groovy stores throughout October.
And just go wild.
Yeah! Go wild!
When you run a small business, you need all the help you can get. That's why we're here to help by doing business insurance over the phone with EasyBiz.
The billionaire who gets his kicks stealing. Her job is to nail him.
You like to chase.
The movie thriller, The Thomas Crown Affair, Sunday on 7.
To finance news, and ANZ's profit has soared above the $2 billion mark. As Oriel Morrison reports, the better-than-expected result was largely due to the strength of the local economy.
ANZ posted a $2.3 billion profit, up 24% on last year. The boost mainly came through an increase in revenue from wealth clients and credit cards. Chief Executive John McFarlane also added himself to the long list, warning of a housing bust. In light of the recent issues over payouts and bonuses, the bank says it will now only reward its executives if they meet milestones and outperform the competition.
So these are truly linked to shareholder return and differentiate performance, and therefore we're only rewarding our executives for true outperformance. No outperformance, no value.
Tabcorp Holdings says first quarter total revenues climbed 5%, but Australia's biggest gaming and wagering group says gaming revenues fell 6.6% because of the new casino smoking ban. But TAB says it's still on track to record an increase in profits this financial year. On to business in brief. BHP Billiton says iron ore production hit a new record of 18 million tonnes over the last 3 months. Packaging giant Amcor reported a 47% increase in earnings in the first quarter, the company benefiting from new acquisitions. And shares in Macquarie Airports have soared 21% this week, rallying off historic lows. Our share market edged lower, the All Ords and ASX 200 both losing 8 points. AMP was among the day's big decliners. The Australian dollar is mixed at 55.3 US cents, 68.6 Japanese yen and 35.7 British pence. Gold is trading at $311 US an ounce, oil's at 27 US a barrel, and overseas Asian markets closed weaker. And that's all from the Finance Centre. Have a great night.
The bushfires, which claimed 3 properties near the New South Wales town of Grafton overnight, remain a threat. Further north near Toowoomba, volunteers have been called in to give local firefighters a rest as wildfires continue to burn in more than 20 locations around the city. 180 families already have been evacuated. Dozens of sheds and expensive farm machinery has been destroyed. And the dust storm that covered New South Wales and southeast Queensland yesterday has moved north. It's estimated the amount of topsoil blown out to sea would fill 200,000 dump trucks. A streaker who disrupted a Bledisloe Cup rugby match has been fined $3,500 after pleading guilty. Burwood Court heard Brett Mutton was drunk when he and a friend jumped the fence at Telstra Stadium wearing nothing but painted-on Vodafone logos.
I'd just like to apologise to Sky News, to Telstra and to our family.
2 other men will also face charges after they ran naked through the court foyer before today's hearing. The hunt is on for the owners of $7 billion in lost superannuation. 1 in 3 workers is in for a windfall worth thousands after losing track of their accounts.
Security guard Mark Bray has just discovered how much of his super has gone missing.
Found $5,900. That's, might as well say, lost funds that I had.
He's one of 3 million people across the country who've lost track of almost $7 billion in superannuation, the lion's share belonging to workers in New South Wales, Queensland and Victoria.
Funds report to us twice yearly, lost accounts. At the moment, those accounts grow by about $500,000 a year. So it's a big problem that we've got here.
The tax office estimates Australians with unclaimed super are owed around $1,500 each, some even more. It's a consequence of so many Australians changing jobs.
People are in and out of jobs now. Often people have very fragmented work histories. And, you know, it's very easy to lose track of where you've been and where you might have some money.
A national campaign will reunite workers with their super for free until the end of November.
In one case it was over $30,000 and I heard of one case this morning where it was $55,000.
The super hotline is 1300 737 736, or you can log on to the Unclaimed Super website. Marguerite McKinnon, 7 News.
I'll be back with the weather and the latest in sport after this break.
The Army made him strong, jail made him tough, but flying just makes him nervous. John Cusack, Steve Buscemi, John Malkovich and Nicolas Cage. Chrysler presents Con Air, Saturday 8:30 on 7.
Need to know there's someone there to help.
In the dark of night.
That's why we're here. To help.
Those small hours.
By taking care of claims with just one phone call.
By my side.
Look, I know it's about the horses, but at the end of the day, it's about the punters and the fans.
Watching the excitement, the colour, the people.
Everyone has knowledge, and it's sort of knowledge and beer and how beer breeds knowledge. Only bet on the grey, or go the colours, or the omen bet.
Well, this one.
I do that. I don't cry anymore when I lose, publicly.
Seven's broadcast of the Melbourne Cup Carnival is proudly brought to you by Telstra.
New chicken satay sticks with a spicy peanut sauce and chips from Chicken Drink. Wolfsblass, Australian wine at its peak.
Saturday, the ultimate camping road test.
It's a great lifestyle.
Check out the latest caravans, tents, campers, mobile homes.
It's the lotto dream.
Everything you need to know before you hit the road in Seven's brand new RWA Outback Special, 7:30 Saturday.
Australian cricketers have rallied behind embattled batsman Mark Waugh. 2 weeks out from the opening test against England, he's hoping selectors will show a little faith.
It's almost routine now for Mark Waugh to return home to face questions about his future. This time it's averages of 20 in the Pakistan series and just over 30 in the last 12 months that have his test position in jeopardy.
Well, hopefully my name will be there on the first test. If it's not, it's not. I can't do anything about it right now. Whatever's going to be is going to be.
The fact Australia are heading into an Ashes series will help Mark's cause. He averaged 86 last year in England and has plenty of support amongst his teammates who believe the 37-year-old can rediscover his best form.
To me, Mark's been a legend of the game, and it'd be great to see him to go out on, for him to go out on his terms rather than, the other way around.
I think it's really important that both Stephen and Mark, are in the side to battle the Poms, come the first test. They're great warriors, the pair of them.
Stephen secured his tenure as captain with an unbeaten century in Sharjah, but that innings also sharpened the focus on his brother's drought.
I wish I could make 100 as well in that game, but Stephen batted well, and I think I'm batting just as well at the moment. It's just a matter of posting the score.
England has drafted former Test player Craig White into its squad as cover for an injured Andrew Flintoff. The 32-year-old all-rounder was playing grade cricket in Adelaide. Jeff Bullock, 7 News.
The AFL drafting season has begun with Carlton set to snare Port's Barnaby French. 2 other major deals are in the works, with Crow Kane Johnson set to join Richmond and Des Headland likely to become a Docker.
Trade week day 1 and an opportunity for clubs to sound each other out and set deals in motion. Richmond and Adelaide were sweating on the Kangaroos late today, set to finalise the most important deal of the trade period. The major aspects of the deal would see Wayne Carey go to the Crows, Kane Johnson to Richmond, the Tigers to lose their first-round pick, number 4 in the national draft. Des Headland also appears set to make Fremantle his home, with the Dockers and the Lions on the verge of a deal. While the Eagles have offered the Lions their first 2 picks, at this stage it isn't enough. A 3-way deal with Essendon could be worked out, Clark Keating a name being touted. Despite assuring the public they won't give up pick number 2 in the draft, Carlton sounded out many clubs today to see if they're interested. Port Adelaide ultra keen to get the pick and take Daniel Wells in the draft, with Victorian Nick Stevens' name again being raised. Fremantle and West Coast also keen to draft the West Australian. Barnaby French will almost certainly be a Blue next season. Dennis Pagan and his hierarchy with their sights set on the ruckman.
We won't see what they've got to offer, but, Carlton's offered him a fair deal, I reckon.
And the likelihood of Nick Davis heading north to Sydney took a dive today, with negotiations between the Pies and the Swans ongoing. Chris Jones, 7 News.
To racing, and Caulfield Cup winner Northerly could be heading for the Melbourne Cup. Trainer Fred Kersley will weigh up his options after the star gelding attempts back-to-back Cox Plate victories.
Just back from suspension, jockey Paddy Payne was aboard Northerly for the gelding's last serious hit-out before Saturday's Cox Plate. The 2,040-metre trip at Moonee Valley will be his first race ride aboard the Star.
It was a shame I wasn't able to get on earlier, but better late than never.
Payne and trainer Fred Kersley have dismissed doubts about the 6-year-old's ability to come back in distance from the 2,400 metres of the Caulfield Cup against the likes of champion mare Sunline.
I think he can do it, but, he's no good thing and he will need luck on the day.
No luck needed for basketball Sydney Kings as they smashed Townsville 120-75.
Moving Shane Hill from deep.
The Kings' 5th straight win, equalling the club's best start to an NBL season. Guard Brad Sheridan hit 7 3-pointers to lead the way. And a new look for Telstra Stadium, the Olympic venue to host the final round of the Speedway World Championship on Saturday night.
We ride with no brakes. We ride on 500cc, the same equivalent engines, and so many people say that we're a little bit more crazy, I suppose.
None more so than Swedish world champion Tony Rickardsson.
I don't have a motorbike license.
Truly?
That's it, yeah. I never been on the road with a bike.
Ryan Sullivan and Todd Wiltshire are among 6 Australians in the field. Patrick Monaghan, 7 News.
Now for a look at the national weather.
Tonight's weather report is brought to you by Airwell Air Conditioning.
On the satellite, cloud is moving through South Australia and Victoria, producing isolated showers and thunderstorms. The front that brought yesterday's dust storm has moved into the Tasman. A high moving through New South Wales will be replaced by a cold front, which will push through the southern states early tomorrow. Sunny in Brisbane and 29, one warmer in Sydney, fine in Canberra, some showers around for Hobart, Melbourne and Adelaide, sunny in Perth and the Alice, and a late storm for Darwin. That's 7 News for now. More on Sunrise from 6 a.m, including guests Steve Vizard and Ian Thorpe. I'm Natalie Barr. Good night.
This program brought to you by Brian Gardner, the Holden dealer for those in the nose. Look for the big roof on Albany Highway, Cannington.